Hey, what's up? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to another video. Hope all is well. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A34 5G up against the Samsung Galaxy A36 5G. And yeah, a lot of people want to know, is this an upgrade from the original A34 5G? I actually skipped the generation of 35 and went straight to the 36 after the 36 was released, because I saw a lot of improvements that I want to talk about in this video. But yeah, this video is for people who are actually thinking about, switching and getting the A36 if they already have or own the A34. Maybe it can help you make a better purchasing decision overall. So yeah, let's jump into this quick comparison of both of these devices. Make sure you guys stay locked into the end of the video. And if you're brand new to the channel, I truly appreciate you for coming through if you're new. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute. So let's take a look at what we have here. We basically have two similar smartphones when it comes to the packaging. So you can see that the A36 is going to be at the bottom, whereas the A34, they have it at the top when it comes to the packaging. Pretty much similar, almost identical boxes. And what you get is basically the same from both experiences here. So you're going to get your SIM tool, and then you're basically going to get your warranty, your user guide, and also your charging cable. So yeah, after that, we want to come across and take a look at the bodies, which are basically identical when it comes to dimensions. The only thing that's different is the way that the cameras are shaped, which is going to affect which cases you can use. So you're not going to be able to use cases from this Samsung Galaxy A34 on the A36 just because the camera cutouts are completely different. But yeah, let's take a look at the bodies. So we actually do have similar triple camera setups on both of these devices, which you'll notice they have different design language this time around in the A36, but the A34 5G offers a 48 megapixel camera. The A36 is going to offer you a 50 megapixel camera, and they're both that Sony IMX582. Well, actually the 34 is the 582 Excimer RS, and we have the Sony IMX882, which is an updated sensor to bring in more light, bring in more details, and essentially give you better experience when it comes to the camera quality. So yeah, let's take a look about the wide angle camera. You're also getting an 8 megapixel on the A36, a 5 megapixel on the A34 when it comes to the wide angle, and then you have a 5 megapixel on the A34, which is going to be for portrait. And then you're also getting on the A36, you're getting an 8 megapixel addition to this one. It's going to be like for macro shots. So they both offer the dedicated selfie cameras, which are cool. And the A34 has that dedicated 13 megapixel camera. On the A30, let me show you right now. I'm going to unlock both devices. So let's go into a picture of my face on both, and I'll show you guys the details that I do get. So if I take a closer look at my face on one of these pictures, you can see that on the essentially on the A34, it's saying that right here we have a 9 megapixel on this shot, and then we have an 8 megapixel on this shot. So closer to like a 10 meg, they're both gonna be like similar when it comes to the images. So if I took a quick selfie with both of these cameras, I flip the camera around, you can see the software is almost identical right here. So let's go ahead and take a selfie photo to compare them. And then let's just take a look at that image right now and see what the details are going to offer. So it's a lot cooler on the A34, warmer details on the A36, and then you can see the A36 right here, it says it's an 8 megapixel, and then on the A34 it says it's a 9 megapixel shot. So yeah, that's for the cameras. Basically that's the image quality that you'll be getting if you just take a standard photo. But yeah, I definitely think both of these cameras are very good when it comes to the detail and, you know, using it. A lot of people did complain about the cameras, but I didn't have any issues with the cameras, especially if you're just an average user or you're the type of person who, is just using it for social media and, you know, maybe even some uploads on YouTube or other social media platforms. So the biggest difference is going to be that the A36 is going to have an updated charging speed of 45 watts, whereas the A34 has that 25 watts fast charging. They both have that 5,000 milliamp per hour battery, which is going to be nice. You're going to notice that as far as the software, we actually have 6 years of updates on the A36. And we also do have 5 years of updates on the A34, meaning we're going to be able to get Android 17 on the A34. So it's still good for 2 more Android generations of updates, which I think is pretty cool. Another thing is both of these devices have that IP67 waterproof and dustproof component. So they're going to be pretty similar when it comes to, you know, the dust and waterproof resistance on both of these devices. There's not going to be a major difference. They both come in similar colors, except that instead of getting the black on the A34, you get the silver, but you do get the black, gray, green, and violet on the A36 and the silver, gray, green, and violet on the A34. So you can see I do have that green color, which I think pops, and it comes in like this matte finish, which is extremely nice, and it has like a almost like another component to it. When you shift it in the light, it looks very delicate and gorgeous. You get that mirror finish on the A36, which basically whatever you shine it on, you're going to see a reflection. No reflections on the A34, which is, you know, I like, because, you know, you're going to be able to see, everything. When it comes to the back, it just feels really nice and smooth on the A34, no fingerprints. However, you will gather a lot of fingerprints on the A36, so you might want to keep a cover on it. The shape has definitely changed. They're actually listed at the same exact dimensions. So like I mentioned, I'm noticing that when it comes to the dimensions, the A36 is a tiny bit taller when it comes to the dimensions and everything. So I'm just going off of real life. And yeah, so the A34 was released back in March 23. The A36 was released in March 25, so they're back exactly 2 years apart when it comes to detail, the updates. And you can see that the camera sticks out a little bit more on the A34. It's a lot more. Well, in the A36 it sticks out a lot more. You can see that right there. On the A34, it's very slight. So when you put them on a flat surface, the A36 is going to have a lot more wobble to it versus the A34, which doesn't even have that much wobble. But they both offer you the always on displays. I don't know if you can see them because it's kind of dim, but they're very dim. You can see the always on displays are present on both, so you can actually customize the picture that you want on them, which is kind of cool. I do like that component as well. And they both offer that in-display fingerprint sensor as well as facial recognition. You can see they unlock at the same time, and you can see that camera cutout in the middle is different, so it's upgraded on the A36, giving you a punch hole cutout now versus the infinity U-drop display on the A34. So let's go ahead and boost the overall brightness. Take a look at some of the display settings. So I have eye comfort on right now, which is why it was a little yellow. And both always displays are on. Extra dim is on the A34, so I just turned that off. So now you can see them, and because they're complete, how they look when you're just comparing them side by side. They look very good. Extra dim is off on both, and they look very bright. A34 looks extremely bright. So yeah, as far as the display panels, there's going to be slight difference when it comes to the specs of the display panels that I want to talk about right now. So you get a 6.6 inch on the A34 and a 6.7 inch on the A36, and so they're both full HD plus displays as far as the displays go. So yeah, 6.6 and 6.7 on the A36 The other thing you're gonna notice is that when it comes to the overall screen, they both have the Super AMOLED panels, which is nice. They're both very responsive. Then they're running on 2 separate processors, but I want to get into the performance later on in this video. But you're gonna notice that the performance is gonna be really good on both of these phones. I've actually been really enjoying both of these phones when it comes to the displays. I still love the A36 display. It kind of looks slightly better right now. I don't know why it looks like that. Looks a little better, even though it's a little bit more brighter and punchy, I guess, and more saturation. Maybe it's how I have the settings configured, but you could see the way that the cutouts look and everything. I definitely prefer the A36 as far as the cutouts. 399 pixels per inch on the A34 and 385 on the A36. We do have you know, the similar 120 hertz display refresh rate, so you're going to notice extremely clean, you know, the performance. You can see how quick that is. You get that effect where you could swipe it up and swipe it down, and they're very quick when it comes to like overall performance. So nothing that I had to complain about really when it comes to the performance with these devices. So as far as the software, like I said, 6 years of updates on the A36, 4 years of updates on the A34, or 5 years updates on the A34. So let me go into settings real quick and show you what software they're both running on right now. Now you can see they're both running on Android 15, which is great, on One UI 7.0. And they're both on the July 1st security patch when it comes to the patch level of both devices. So yeah, the software is pretty much going to be up to date on both of these devices, depending on which model you pick. I definitely think that the A34 still has a lot of life left when it comes to, you know, using this device in particular. After 2 years, it's still been holding up really well. So yeah, like, it's a 2-year phone. Battery life is still pretty good. You're still able to get some pretty decent screen on time with it and things of that sort. So yeah, definitely some really good stuff when it comes to the battery. Obviously, I'm able to get about 6 to 7 hours screen on time. I'm not sure how people pull out 8 to 10. I guess it's just the way I use my phone. I'm not able to get as much screen on time because I'm always constantly watching videos and things of that sort. Maybe like ebooks, I'm constantly reading those. So maybe that takes up a lot more of the battery. But you get the 1080 2400 display on the A34 and the 1080 2340 on the A36. So on the A34, it just seems like it's a better panel when it comes to the brightness. Maybe if I change the wallpaper, it will look a little bit brighter on the A36. So let's change wallpapers to something a little bit more vivid and brighter. Let's kind of see what that's going to do as far as looking at them side by side. I don't know if I hit save. Let's try that again. So let's do this next. It says it's effective. Okay, here we go. You got to hit the done in order for it to take effect. And then yeah, let's go ahead and see if that makes any difference when I'm looking at it. So yeah, they both look extremely bright, extremely detailed. As far as using these devices, I enjoy using both of them. You can see that the bezels on the both of them are very similar. The only difference is the punch hole cutout. So let's take a look at the video content side by side and also test out the microphones. All right, so let's take a closer look at the videos on here. It looks like the A36 might be a little bit brighter now that I'm actually double checking when it comes to the displays. Let's go into settings. Let's go into the highest resolution for both, and you're getting the HDR on the A36. I don't see that option on the A34, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, the screen, it looks a lot more brighter on the A36. Just looking at it, you can see that the if I look at it from the top, I can definitely see and I can definitely tell that the colors are brighter, and I could see a little bit of lag on the A34. It's the way it's not as smooth it's, when it comes to the video, it's not handling the video. Okay, it caught up. So now it's actually looking the same, except that the A36 definitely appears a lot more brighter when it comes to looking at it from the top down. So wow, the details are extraordinary on the A36. It seems to be actually moving way quicker and way smoother. So I'm noticing less hiccuping on the A36. The A36 is a lot smoother. Let's take it a notch down on the video and see if the A34 does a little bit better on the 1440 16 1440 60. Oh yeah, so it does much better now on the A34. So that's the sweet spot for watching videos. However, I can definitely see it's a little bit more choppy on the A34. Okay, so this is where I do my microphone test. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the microphone off of my shirt and put it up to the A34 real fast. Okay, so I paused it. Now let's do the A36. Put the volume all the way up. Okay, I don't know. It seems like it's slightly louder on the A36, but they do sound very similar. It's hard to tell which one is doing a better job, but I think they're both similar when it comes to the sound quality. As far as the bodies, nothing much has changed except the fact that you get this raised lip where the buttons are. You have a smooth, you know, piece of metal on the A34. It feels like metal, honestly. It does feel like metal. I think yeah, it feels like metal. I've dropped it right here and you can see the way it left the mark. It kind of even scuffs like metal. So yeah, you get the dual microphones I noticed on the A36 at the top, whereas there's just one microphone on the A34, and then you get the SIM tray slot at the top of the A34 where it's at the bottom of the A36, as you can see right here. They both have the dual speakers with the dual microphones on the bottom, and you can see the slit on the A36 for the speaker versus the grill on the A34 versus on the speaker. And then on the other side, it's all smooth for both devices as well. So build quality wise, they're both really solid. When it comes down to it, I definitely prefer the matte finish over the glossy fingerprint material that we're getting on the A36. But yeah, it's like a mirror finish, so anything that you do will attract oils and fingerprints on there. So the next thing I want to do is just optimize both phones and then do a speed test. So let's go ahead into the device care right here. We could just go into device care for both devices. And one of the things you're going to notice is that they have 128 60 gigabytes of internal storage for these, but you can get the 8 and the 256 version as well. So you can see right here they're optimizing really well. The blue is a lot bluer on the A36 compared to the A34. I just noticed that. I'm not sure why that is. It looks like it just has punchier colors and more contrast now that I'm seeing it. In the comparison, let's go ahead and close all the apps. And let's do 5 apps. So this is the first one, Spotify, 1, 2, 3. That was the A36. So let's do the second app. We're gonna do the Play Store, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that didn't load, but that's cool. Let's try Meta really quickly, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the A34 took that one. Let's try IG. 1, 2, 3. The A34 looks like it took the cake and the icing on the cake right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more. Let's do wall candy. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that one didn't open on the A36. I missed the button, so I'm gonna close that. Try that one more time. Let's see, wall candy. 1, 2, 3. My finger touched it. Let's use a different app. So that was 3 apps, right? Let's do the Bible app. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I touched it at the same time right there, and the A34 is launching up faster. Let's do 2 more apps. Let's do the Walmart app. If I have them on both, I could just do that real fast. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the A36, it looks like it's gonna get one. Nope, the A34 took it at the last second. Okay, so we're gonna do a performance test, so make sure you stay locked in with me. If you're still here, just type down in the comment section, I'm still here, so I know you're still rocking with me. And last one we're gonna do is SoundCloud. 1, 2, 3. But I just want to remind you to hit the like button so we can get this video out to more people and help beat the YouTube algorithm. All right, so yeah, that's the speed test. Now we're going to test out some gaming performance and just wrap up the video. I also do want to do some camera samples from the front and the rear so you can see them, and I'll put them in the video so you can compare them side by side and see which one matches your personal style better. But let's go ahead into Game Hub. And yeah, as far as the chipsets on these, and one thing I want to mention is that the Gorilla Glass Victus Plus is on the A36, whereas the glass on the A34 is very strong. I think it's Gorilla Glass 5, I think, but it's very sturdy and it holds up really well. And so as far as the chipsets on these, we have the Dimensity 1080 on the A34 and the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 on the A36. So we're going to go into some PUBG on both of these devices and see which one performs a little bit better. But one thing I know is that both of these devices do a really good job when it comes to gaming. All right, so turning the volume all the way up, it gets really loud on the A36. Those dual speakers definitely help when you're gaming, so you don't actually have to use a pair of headphones, because even if you block one side, you still get sound from the other side. So yeah, let's just jump into a quick team deathmatch on the A36 to test out the performance on gaming. All right, so this is the A36 5G. The screen looks really nice. You can see that punch hole cut out. We also have this gaming option to the left where you can swipe it out. Let me see, I did it the first time, and you have your options right here. I actually have it on game optimization performance mode, so you can customize that when you hit the gear icon. As far as the graphics, I have them in extreme and balanced. I think I'll just do extreme and smooth just because it flows really well. Yeah, so everything just feels really smooth right now. Oh, okay. Wow. All right, so while the A34 is downloading, I'm just playing the A36 right now. And you can see I'm trying to get my first kill right now. I noticed a little bit of slowdown there, but nothing too crazy. So the Snapdragon Gen 6 does have some slowdowns here when I'm getting into the heavy gameplay right now. I'm noticing, like, just moving right there was a little bit of stuttering. So there's slight stutters every now and then. Okay, I finally got a kill, and it slows down when you get into the really detailed action, and then it speeds back up. Okay, I got 2 kills right there. So I was able to actually avenge myself right there. All right, so yeah, let's get one more kill and under the belt, but it feels pretty good. as far as gaming. You will experience slowdowns every now and then. Okay, got another kill. But as far as performance, it's handling it without any sweats or hiccuping. It feels really good. So yeah, I do like the performance a lot on the A36. I just got another kill. Okay, so it does seem to be doing a really good job. We have the lead by like 4 kills right now, or 3 kills. Okay, there we go. We're up by 4 now. Reloading. And I'm gonna fire up the A34 as soon as it allows, once it's downloaded. Okay, so yeah, let me close this out. I hate to leave in the middle of a battle, but I want to show you guys what the A34 looks like when it comes to gaming. So yeah, I really like also this multitasking window. I like how they did the windows and made that look really cool. So the A34 is ready to be fired up. The A36 did perform really well when it comes to real life testing. However, there were some slowdowns when you are actually in important modes, like when the action is getting really good. I noticed that every now and then there would be a slowdown. All right, so now I have the A34 5G fired up. Let's go ahead into the graphics and see what it looks like. Let's go hit next. All right, cool. I'm gonna go into settings. I still have it at, let's go into customize. And we now have it at super smooth and extreme. Let's hit apply. I think the A34 has super smooth, whereas the A36 doesn't have that. I think that's due to the Dimensity 1080, which is really nice processing chip. It's a very nice processing chip. So let's see if it gets those slowdowns that the A36 got. Okay, I got my first kill right there. No slowdowns whatsoever. In my opinion, I think that the Dimensity 1080 is a little bit more optimized for gaming, but I could be wrong. Let me just keep playing right here. Get some good screen on time with this one. Smooth as butter when it comes to the performance. He just crept up from the other side, so I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, this is smooth as butter. Really smooth, no slowdowns when I'm hitting the trigger. I'm noticing that it's not freezing up. Okay, so this team is a little bit more advanced than the last team that I went up against. So let's see what's gonna go down right now. Okay, so it's like a lot harder to get a kill with this team. It seems like it got harder for some reason. Wow, okay. Yeah, so I'm not noticing any slowdowns though when it comes to this. Just a different skill level in this match compared to the last one. But no slowdowns whatsoever. I can't even find out where they're coming from. Okay, I finally got my first kill. All right, so we're starting to catch up. I got my first kill. As far as the frame rates on this one, it feels better. Okay, I got another kill. So in my opinion, the A34 would definitely be a better gaming phone than the A36, the way that it's performing. It just feels smoother. There's no slowdowns or freezing. And honestly, this is a really nice performing phone when it comes to gaming on PUBG. Let's see if I can get one more kill though. Okay, there we go. That was the final kill. But all right, let's close this out, and I'll just go over my the cameras real fast. So there's not much. See, you can see those new windows look really good. You still get the pop-up window on here, which is really good, making it very versatile for multitasking and things like that. So yeah, in my opinion, the A34 5G is still really good when it comes down to it. So yeah, I don't have any issues whatsoever with the A34. Obviously, you know, the punch hole will look a little bit nicer on the A36, right? But yeah, that Snapdragon on the A36 wasn't as powerful, I noticed, as the Dimensity one on the A34. So let's go into the cameras real fast and just take a few snaps. So I'll take a quick photo of my face. All right, so I took a photo right here of my face. I'm gonna put that in the viewfinder for this video so you can see that. And same thing with this one. So yeah, they look really good. Both of them look really good. Let's go into the details of my face on the A34. So they both capture some pretty good colors and accurate skin complexions. You can see right here. It seems like a little bit, they're both really good when it comes to the detail. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, let's do a snap on the rear. And then you get these customized control panels, which they updated. So when you want, you can take a look at the 40 megapixel or the 50 on the A36. And then you get all of these modes right here where you can customize the photos. So they pretty much have the exact same modes running. All of the modes are pretty much identical on these two phones. So nothing really changed because they upgraded both phones when it comes to the cameras. And you still have that fun mode on both where you could do, you know, social media and stuff like that and get some really good snaps. So let's just take a 48 megapixel and a 50 megapixel shot on both of these devices. So let's go right here to photos, and you can see I'm gonna do that. Hold on. 50, okay. Let's take a photo right here. Wow, that looks so clear on the A36. A little bit of shutter lag, but it did take the photo really nicely. Let's do that on the A34. Open that up on both. Let's zoom into the details. All right, so the details do look a little bit better on the A36 because you can see that it's matching the true colors, where it's a little bit yellow on the A34. It wasn't that color when I was looking at it. So let's go zoom into Superman's face. Okay, so it looks a little bit more realistic on the A34 with Superman's face. So I guess it depends on what subject you're looking at. Let's go into Superman's face right here. It's a little bit more focused in right here on the A34. Aquaman, let's see how that looks on the A36 right here. Aquaman, his face got washed out. Oh no, here it is. I didn't even get his face on the A36. It got, it was a different angle. What about Sasuke? It actually looks better on the A34. What do you know? Look at that. But yeah, let me know which photo is better in your opinion. But that wraps it up for this video. Hopefully you guys did find this video helpful in any way possible. If you did find it possible, then hit the like button to show your support and appreciation. Just tap the bell icon so you could get subscribed and notified for more videos just like this. But I just want to remind you to type "I'm still here" so I know you're still kicking it with me. And you know, you made it to the end of the video. Just tap you know what I'm saying, put a happy face emoji so I know you made it to the end of the video. And I'm gonna check you guys later. I'm gonna get back with you, but I truly appreciate you for watching, and I'll hit you back. Namaste.